Hello and welcome to my Kalos, France kind of analysis, inspiration, comparison video where I'm going to be looking at these the areas we can see in Kalos and looking at France and seeing where inspiration derives from, because as you all know, or I hope you would know, Kalos is inspired by France. As we can see from some of these images now, it's almost an exact representation of it. You know, you can place it over the map pretty much, you know, so it is France pretty much. It was shaped the same, so that's where I've gone for this really. I've looked at a town on Kalos and looked for a town in the same place in France and then compared it and such. So yeah, first one we're going to look at is Lumiose City, because that's the largest city and it's obviously based on Paris. Obviously the tower-like structure in the centre of Lumiose City, we don't know what it is. Could be a gym, could be the Elite Four, could be just a tower. It's obviously based off the Eiffel Tower, as they're very similar structures. And you know, in the centre of the city, and you can see it from miles around, and it's a very famous structure, etc, etc, etc. So yeah, Paris is obviously based, well, yeah, Lumiose is based off Paris. It's also in the centre of Kalos, whereas Paris is in the centre of France, so again that's similar. Now I'm going to move on to look at the kind of graveyard slash stone structure we saw near what I would assume was our starting village. Now this is either based off of the Karnak stones or the Locmariaque megaliths. Now the Karnak stones are an exceptionally dense collection of megalithic sites around the French village of Karnak, which consist of alignments, dolmens, tumuli and single menhirs, meaning standing stones. There are more than 3,000 standing stones around this area, so obviously we can see that kind of on the route leading up to this town. I wouldn't know what they were in the game, or obviously just like designed or something like that. Or maybe it actually might be part of the plot, who knows. And then the Locmariaque megaliths are a complex of Neolithic constructions in Locmariaque, Brittany. They comprise the elaborate et Urgra tumulus passage grave, a dolmen known as the Table des Marchands, merchant's table, and the broken menhir of Urgra. The largest known single block of stone to be transported and erected by early Neolithic men. Now this more represents the kind of the town, village sort of thing, and if I show you where they are in France, you can see that exactly where they would be in Kalos if they were in the same place. So that leads me to believe they're based off of them. Now we're going to move on to look at this palace kind of structure, kind of this north of this stone area, and it looks like a palace in the middle of a lake, and in exactly the same place as the other, like the stones, exactly the same place in France as in Kalos. It's based off the Mont Saint Michael. Now it's a rocky tidal island which is 247 acres in size, and it's a commune in Normandy, France. It's located approximately 1 kilometre off the country's northwestern coast, at the mouth of the Couesnon, I can't speak French, sorry, Couesnon River near Avranches. The island's highest point is 92 metres above sea level, and the population of the island is 44 as of 2009. Now this is, you can see some pictures on screen now. It's obviously offshore a bit, which is similar to what we can see in this Kalos really. There's no bridge in Kalos we can see, at least. There might be a way to get across. You might have to surf to get across, who knows, but that's obviously where it takes inspiration from there. And now we're going to move on to these islands we can see north of here. Right, now these islands are the only part of the region not based off of France. I know you're thinking, well they obviously are, they're right next to France. No, they're not. The Channel Islands, as they are called, are not part of France, and neither are they part of the United Kingdom. They are part of the British Crown dependencies, and the bailiwicks are Jersey and Guernsey. So yeah, that's the Channel Islands there. Obviously we don't know what's going to be up in this island here. I'd have to look into that further to see if there are any myths around the Channel Islands, maybe a monster of some sort, but we shall have to see. And now we move on to the part next to these Channel Islands. Similarly, this is the town. We don't know what the town's called, but there's a lighthouse there. You can see some village and stuff, and this town is based on Calais. Now Calais is again a port town, and in this pretty much the same point as, well, not in the same point, but kind of in the right part of the coast as this town. We don't have any names, so no. It's the same part of the town, so it fits really. And Calais also has a lighthouse, which you can see on screen now, so it might be some link there really. We have to see. Right, now we're going to skip some areas and look at some forests from Kalos. Now there are 3 forests from France that I'm going to reference here. One of them is the Écrins National Park, the other is the Savon National Park, and the last is the Parc Naturel Régional de la Brenne. I don't know why it's just called Brenne National, I don't know. Anyway, so the three of these parks now, the Parc Naturel Régional de la Brenne is located kind of in central west France, central left France, which could be this kind of forest next to this kind of long garden area. So I don't know if we're going to get access to this forest in the game. Probably not. Might just be, you know, a sight scene or a scene or some sort of scene, which will obviously, you know, be there for us to look at. The second park, the what should we look at now? Let's look at the Savane, which is the park right at the bottom, I would assume, the forest right at the bottom of the map, above these two kind of manor houses. Obviously it's split in two, so there's a river going through it, so, you know, we obviously need to go through this forest, whether we'll start here at the manor house and go through the forest first, or just go through it as a part of our journey, we'll have to see. And now finally on to the last park, the Écrins National Park. That's going to be the forest at the bottom right here, which is where we have that kind of tree structure. Depending on, you know, what this tree structure is doing, depend on whether we get access to it or whatever. So we'll have to see. So I think that's all the national parks I can reference really. There's one more forest there, but I couldn't find a national park that corresponded to it. So that's where I'll leave that bit. Now we're going to take a little trip to the north of Kalos, where we have this kind of, it looks like a what would you would assume was a volcano, like a crater for a volcano. So I looked at the volcanoes in France, and there are only two volcanoes in France, both inactive, I do think. One of them is the Chaîne de Puys, and the other one is the Cantal stratovolcano. Now the Chaîne de Puys, well, both of them are in the south of the region, so neither of them correspond to the location. But as we can see with the original comparison map, it's not the whole of France that's in Kalos, sort of. It's only half of it. So obviously they brought some of South Kalos up to North Kalos. So obviously that's what I would assume this kind of town would be. It's inside a crater or a volcano, kind of like Sutopolis City. So it's not, well, we haven't seen it before, you know. So yeah, but we also have to remember that Madagascar was part of the French Empire until very recently. So then there's a one volcano on that island there. So it may have taken inspiration from that as well, and thought we'll put it in, you know, so it's a large volcano, we'll put it in. Now we come up to the mine shafts. I've actually found a mine that pretty much corresponds to this, well, a well-known mine that would correspond to this, maybe others in the region as well. But I'm going to focus on this one. This is the Calais mine, and there was actually a disaster in it in 1942, I think, no wait, 1906, sorry. It was Europe's worst mining accident and caused the death of 1,099 miners, including many children, because obviously the children worked in the mines. So this would explain why the mine is disused. For example, if in game there's a story where the mine's collapsed, it's disused, something like that, similar to that. And yeah, so obviously 1,099 people died, so quite a few people there. And finally we come to look at this mountain at the top of the region here. It's a very large mountain. There's a cave entrance, so it's only a single mountain. So this is obviously based off of Mont Blanc, which is the highest mountain in the Alps. Now the Alps are the mountain ranges that stretch from France through to Switzerland, and also to other countries. I'm not sure exactly. You can see on the map now. Switzerland, Italy, Austria, and Germany. So it covers a large area. So this is obviously where it's based. Now the Alps are actually in kind of to the south of France, and this is more so north of France, but as I've explained already, they're bringing the south to the north as well. So obviously that's where they put the mountain range for France, for Kalos, sorry. Kalos, I like Kalos a lot better. But yeah, so I think that's all we have to talk about in this video, guys. I don't think I have anything else to say. I've gone through everything I found. I may find stuff in the future. Oh, one more thing, yeah. Kalos is in the shape of a star. Now they actually mentioned this on the official Pokemon website. They said, oh, it's very interesting, it's shaped like a star. Obviously telling us, you know, hinting to us that there's something to do with the legendaries, to do with stars. To do with a star. So it might be with Jirachi, because we never seen Jirachi in any of the games before. Or indeed in the movies. Actually, it's been in the movies, but it hasn't had... I don't know how to explain it. It's not been really like a regional... You know, I don't know how to explain it, but it's never been in a game before as a main protagonist, so we might have either Talonzera and S fighting it out, and Jirachi's, you know, flying around being Jirachi. But yeah, it might be interesting to see. It might be a secret legendary after the storylines to do, but we'll have to see that. So I think that, again, that's all I have to say in this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it very much. Do not forget to leave a like, a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.